So guys, we got delivery numbers to talk about. First, take a look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Firefly shirt. This is of course their official merch. It has the Firefly logo over here. This actually has a very nice metallic sheen to it. And then over here it says freedom to glow. Very, very nice. Very cool. This, and on top of that, my NIO backpack are some of the best new merch that I've ever purchased. So give them props to that. This is a pretty cool shirt. I like it. So we got to talk about delivery numbers. We're also going to talk about some cool other stuff. NIO formed a new company. Okay, very interesting. And then also where things are headed going forward. So first of all, deliveries for last week. We talked about orders exploding, and it is finally exploded in terms of deliveries. And right now, deliveries have indeed exploded to 6,200. These are total deliveries, and this is in 1 week, guys. So NIO had 6,430, whilst Envo had 770 deliveries. So total, of course, 6,200. Pretty nice considering previous weeks, NIO was only getting like 2,000 or 3,000 per week. This is a substantial increase, like almost doubling, all right? Thanks to those great incentives, cars are being sold out in stores. And going forward this week and next week, you're still going to get very, very good, solid delivery numbers. This month, 20,000 is not going to be a problem at all, okay? We're going to be above 20,000 for sure. But, of course, this is still, unfortunately, under Xiaomi Xpeng's 6,600 and under Xiaomi's 7,000 and under Li Auto's 8,000. So, even with these great incentives, we're still not exactly quite there yet. So we still have to push a bit harder. Of course, Envo is supposed to be the saving grace, the volume driver, the mass market vehicle. And it's not doing too well, okay? Partially because the incentives aren't as intense as NIO's incentives, all right? You're not getting like 240 free swap vouchers. I'm sure if they did something similar, even half of that, like 100 free swap vouchers, Envo will sell pretty well, okay? But clearly Envo, kind of L60 right now, the hype has cooled down quite a lot, right? But right now, what are they hyping up? Of course, the Envo L90. And if you guys have seen some of the videos online, that car is going to be amazing. So some of the core features of that car, and first of all, you can't see the interior, but I can pretty much tell you what the interior will be like, okay? So that car has a massive frunk, massive frunk. It's all about spaciousness. It's big, right? Huge car. It's the biggest car the NIO Group has ever made, period. So that, and it's only going to be priced at the Model Y's price. So for the Model Y price, you can get that car. That car, the Envo L90, will also use the same motors as the ET9. So you're going to have very good performance as well. Well, decently good performance, okay? And they didn't show like the interior of the car because they don't want to reveal it yet. But we can pretty much guarantee that since this car is directly aimed at Li Auto, right? Everything that Li Auto L9 has, they're gonna have it same dimensions, but instead of a generator, you have battery swap. So, well, what does Li Auto have? They have a huge, massive screen, TV screen, right? And of course, fridge inside. So you can pretty much guarantee that it's going to have that as well. So massive TV. Basically, it's going to be the electric version of the Li Auto L9, but cheaper with battery swap. That's a formula for success right there, guys. So I don't want to overhype this car, but it is like a very, very compelling product, in my personal opinion, okay? So that's very interesting to look at. And then some other news. NIO, of course, right now, they're prioritizing cost effectiveness. They're lowering cost to really move towards profitability. They formed a new company, and I'll talk a little bit about this, but also what they've done is with every single NIO owner, you have like a sort of a representative that's responsible for your sort of car needs or any sort of car help. If you need help with something, they can help you. And apparently it seems like most of these staff have been laid off for cost-cutting measures. And instead, it's like centralized somehow. So I'm not too sure about how it works, but everybody's gotten the notification that the representative that's responsible for communicating with them have been, reallocated to somewhere else. So they're doing cost measures everywhere possible. So this is very, very nice. And then they formed this new company called 为了为了赢 like, so it's kind of a play on words. So if you directly hear it in Chinese, it kind of sounds like for the win, okay? And this company apparently is responsible for, it's just the sort of shell company for the stores. And what they're doing is they're sort of consolidating the stores, not so much putting the Envo cars in the NIO stores, but they're sort of renting a big space, splitting it in half, and then one side is Envo, one side is NIO Firefly. So they're doing that under this new company that they formed, and that's going to be pretty much responsible for sales going forward. So they are sort of implementing ways of lowering costs that way as well, putting these cars together in a sense. And Firefly. What about Firefly? Firefly deliveries start very, very soon, in just a few days, 29th. And the orders, I know a lot of you guys were kind of questioning 400,000. There's no way it's 400,000. I think it's overinflated as well. However, the dude that ordered 1,000 Fireflies, apparently that's legit. All right. So I did some further research. He apparently runs a car rental business in multiple cities. So he's a baller, and he bought those cars for, for his business, basically. Yeah, he's going to have those cars be in different cities to provide these rental service for, a cheaper price. So that's why he bought 1,000 cars. And it wasn't just him, all right? It's his company, basically. But he was the boss, so he represents the company. So apparently 1,000 from one guy is legitimate. So there is definitely very high interest with Firefly cars. And I think Firefly cars will do fairly well going forward because it's a very cheap product, right? And there shouldn't be too much additional expenses with Firefly, which is very good to see. You don't have to have different stores. It's just in one single NIO store. Now, the problem with that is that you have certain NIO stores which aren't that big. Okay, for example, there's one at Shine Hills, which is near where I live. I filmed that store several times, and also the Envo store nearby. That store actually doesn't have that much room. They only have room for 3 cars, and they're all showing NIO, and they don't have extra room for Firefly cars. So you might see limited exposure because some stores are much smaller and like unable to fit an extra car inside. So that's very interesting. I wonder, like, they should definitely still put it in Envo stores as well, because, I think it would make sense, right, for Envo to also sell Firefly cars. But a lot of the Envo stores, they have multiple Envo L60s, like 2 Envo L60s or 3 Envo L60s. It would be good if they, took one of those away and put a Firefly car there. That would be pretty nice. But of course, they want to save room for the Envo L90. So we'll have to see. Definitely, Envo SG&A expenses are pretty high. Those store rental fees, pretty high, right? Kind of wish that they sold everything under one roof. And they're sort of doing that, okay? All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.